What is up, everybody? Happy holidays. This is 5 picks in 5 minutes from the Action Network. Chris Raybon here with Grant Nefer and Kyle Murray. We'll give you 5 picks in 5 minutes for all the picks. There's a link in the episode description with our bets, so you can quickly and easily add them to your bet slip. Grant, start us off. Where are we going?
I'm going tried and true. Tight end going up against the Bengals. Darren Waller, 60-plus receiving yards, plus 550. Bengals been historically bad versus the tight end, as I say, almost every single week, giving up 300 more receiving yards to opposing tight ends than any other team in the league. Waller had a great game last week, 7 receptions, 66 yards. Ewers is going to be coming in here, going to probably rely on him pretty heavily in a spot where it's a very favorable matchup. 54% snap count last week, so we should play a decent amount here. Line's far too low. I laddered it all the way up to 80, but going with 60 plus here seems like a pretty reasonable line.
Kyle, where are we going?
Yeah, I'm going to the Sunday Night Football game, taking Stephon Diggs, 6+ catches. That's his alt line, plus 260. I really like the spot for Diggs. I think we get a little bit of a discount due to some, poor recent performance, but you kind of ignore some of the data that we've gotten over the last few weeks because the Patriots have kind of been dominating at least some of the game script stuff. I know they ended up losing last week, but playing from ahead a lot so far this season, especially recently. But I'm expecting the Patriots to struggle a little bit here in this game. I think they do lose, and therefore are going to be forced into a little bit more pass-heavy game scripts. And in that case, Stephon Diggs should definitely have the upper hand in terms of dominating some targets here. So give me the 6+ line here for Stephon Diggs.
I'm going to roll with Mike Evans, anytime touchdown at plus 185. Evans has scored in 55% of the games that he has suited up with Baker Mayfield, so more than half. We're getting this at plus juice. Also going up against the Carolina Panthers, who are number 30 in DVOA against number 1 receivers, even though they have J.C. Horn, because they play a lot of zone coverage. Olave scored against them last week. Devontae Adams had 2 the week before that. Then you had Juwan Jennings with 1 the week before that. 2 weeks before that, it was Olave again. All the ex-receivers for teams have just been lighting up the Carolina Panthers, getting in the end zone. Pickens got 1 as well. Mac Hollins even got 1 for New England. Michael Wilson got 1 earlier in the year. So love this matchup for Mike Evans. Grant, finish us off with a banger. We're going.
All right, let's go with A.D. Mitchell to score a touchdown. You can find him at plus 350. He's been crushing it lately. 9 targets in each of the last 3 games. 9 targets last game with a new quarterback. Should be getting targeted heavily in this spot. Going up against a bad Saints pass defense. They're a dog in this spot, as they always are, but they're not a huge dog, so 5.5 points. They should be throwing the ball still a decent amount. 2 touchdowns in the last 3 weeks. Kind of turning into the number 1 receiver on this garbage offense, but 350 plus 350 for a touchdown, far too high.
Kyle, finish us off.
Yeah, I'm going to Saquon Barkley here, taking his alt line at 100 yards, plus 240 for Saquon Barkley. Obviously, it's been a rough year for Saquon. Hasn't really been able to get a ton going. He's been, very reliant on long runs to have big games, but I think that there is a good opportunity for that this week when you look at this matchup here against the Commanders. They just don't have a lot of speed, outside of in this linebacker crew. So I think that there's a chance that if Saquon breaks away, they're going to have a tough time catching him. Commanders are basically a top 5 matchup in yards per carry, explosive run rate. They're bottom 5 in stuff rate and win rate on the ground. So just a lot of struggles for the Commanders to stop the run. I think Saquon has a chance to, break a long one here. And then obviously we've seen a turn towards maybe a more run heavy approach. Last week they were heavy favorites against the Raiders, 22 carries for Saquon. Eagles should win this game pretty easily. So I'm expecting 20+ carries again for Saquon. So give me the 100+ alt line for Saquon.
All right, you go with a Darren Waller 60+ yard game, Mike Evans anytime touchdown, and Saquon 100+ rushing yards. That is a 57-1 parlay. That is our parlay. 5 picks in 5 minutes from the Action Network. Again, for all the picks, there's a link in the episode description. Happy holidays. Let's get this money.